Can you use some light?
Sure. Okay.
Is that going to be too bright behind you?
Too bright?
Yes.
No, it'll be fine.
All right. Sure.
Okay, well, I am getting ready to do my first YouTube live stream. I've been on Twitch so far, but I thought I'd try something new. And YouTube sent me an email. I was like, hey, stream here. And I was like, all right, sounds good. So here I've been trying to do little bits of animation in my spare time. One of my millions of projects that I'm trying to do is just a little series of cartoons. I'm calling them MomToons because it's all about baby stuff. And hopefully making it funny. And because, babies give you a lot of ideas. And she does a lot of funny things. And I think they would make funny cartoons for everybody to enjoy, not just people who are parents. And this is one that I've been working on and off in my spare time, as I said before. And let's see what I've got so far. It needs a lot of work. So let's just see where we are. And I'm just gonna click play. I'm in TV Paint. And already something is wrong. Okay, so that probably didn't make much sense to you guys. There's a lot of drawings I keep around as reference that don't necessarily fall into the actual animation. And there's things that I've put on wrong layers, for instance. This. So I need to get this baby off the sandwich layer. I'm going to cut to brush. Delete this image. Oh, that never works. Take it out here. Just delete it that way. And that baby face goes on this level. Stamp in place. There it is. I'm going to name this sandwich layer. Is this a sandwich? Expand the timeline a little bit so I can see what I'm doing a bit better. Let's turn off the sandwich layer for a second so I can see what I need to erase. Sandwich. And what's nice about TV Paint is that even though it doesn't have the customizable brushes of Photoshop, the brushes are still pretty good. Like these sketch tools feel a lot like Colorase pencils, which is my preferred animation utensil in real life. I mean, not real life, real paper. On real paper. Here's this pose. And I'm not, again, I need to, on all of my Twitch broadcasts, I have to preface everything by saying, because I'm pressed for time, I'm not necessarily doing this the way, the most organized way, the proper way, basically the right and correct way to animate. I'm not starting out with a character model that's tied down or anything. Since this is just for my own amusement, for my own project, I'm just sort of throwing caution to the wind and throwing stuff down right away without doing the proper pre-production and planning, because I've noticed with my own projects, if I don't just start doing it, I will never start. I'll be bogged down in pre-production forever. So when it comes to doing tutorials for animation, do as I say and not as I do, which is my mantra as a parent, and it is probably the worst thing a parent can say. But I'm not you guys' parents, so you'll be fine. Poor baby Talia, though. Well, she'll be fine as long as she doesn't want to be an animator. There, so... Now, I meant to, I was drawing this drawing, it's a cleanup of this one and changed it slightly, but I still kind of like the way that there's something in the flow of this that I like, so I'm going to add another drawing in here. Again, do not do as I do. And another nice thing about TV Paint is how you can adjust the transparency of the I guess the onion skinning. It's very, very easily customizable. Oh, and I apologize, I always keep my eyes down. And I am not used to this much chat from my Twitch channels, so if I miss something, please forgive me. Yes, if you want to attract my attention to one of your chat questions, tag me like, oh, idiot, I don't want to say that. But Idiot asks, are you interested in teaching animation in schools? No. I kind of want to prove that I'm worthy first. But if anybody wants to hear me talk about this stuff, I'm always happy to talk. I don't shut up, in fact. Oh. Hi, Margie! Why are you King Cabbage, Margie? That confused me. Is it like from Avatar? I am not worthy, Margie. I need to prove it. Okay. I promise that I will tell nobody that Margie's secret internet name is King Cabbage. I'm not going to tell a soul that King Cabbage is Margie. Nope, no one. Margie is King Cabbage. Oh. Well, that makes sense. Of cabbages and kings. Yeah. So, and I apologize that I'm not playing any music, but I'm afraid to get a YouTube strike for copyright infringement. Because usually I play music from archive.org, which says it's public domain, but Twitch keeps flagging certain songs, and I just don't want to risk that on YouTube. So, everybody play your own jams. and pretend we're all listening to the same thing. Hi, Nick. Nick said that I should sing. Nick, I should not sing. I probably will end up I usually end up singing while I work. So if I get a little too into what I'm doing and my mind starts to drift and I just start mindlessly singing, I do apologize. This program I'm in is TV Paint. I don't use it for a lot of jobs. I've only done a couple jobs in TV Paint, but it is still my favorite animation program because it's basically, it feels like Photoshop but with an excellent timeline. And it's made for people who want to animate frame by frame, which is what I likes to do. Boo, boo. Boo, boo, boo. So out of curiosity, since this is my first YouTube live stream, I didn't really plan doing this today. I just thought it was time to do. I had some time this morning, and this has just been on my list of things to do. How did everybody find my live stream today? Because there's 56 of you, lovely, wonderful, gorgeous, beautiful people. And I have no idea how anybody finds me. Was it stuff that I just posted on Twitter and Facebook and stuff? Or does the internet have mysterious ways of which I am not privy? Is that a sentence that makes sense? Okay. Nick, you said, would I decide this is a better animation option than Toon Boom? Professionally, I would say that, well, it's a fact that the Toon Boom suite is more in use than TV Paint by a buttload. But personally, I know everybody loves Toon Boom. I'm just so sick of puppeted animation, even if it's really good for puppeted animation. I just don't want to do that in my personal projects. I'm also not good at it. It deletes my drawings. It makes me angry. Other people have sworn that I'm just doing it wrong, and but I can't figure out why it deletes my work. You can't just save a file, a new version of a file. You have to keep saving a new library of all of your drawings in Toon Boom. And it was just so endlessly frustrating for me that if given the option, I will not work in Toon Boom. Although I am working in Toon Boom Storyboard Pro for a job now, and I do like it. I don't like the drawing tools, which is usually how I decide if I live or die by a program. But it makes so much sense for boarding that I'm willing to suffer. Yeah, I'm suffering, sitting on my butt and drawing all day. Well, who has really weirdly long arms? Let's see if I can move your shoulder, little baby. Does that still look like a baby? Barely. Well, maybe if she moves fast, we won't notice. So yes, if I missed your comment, do the highlighty my namey thingy that King Cabbage is doing so I can see. Oh, what are you saying? Krita, nice animation setup. It is also free. I've never heard of Krita. Krita? I'm gonna need a pronunciation guide for that. Never heard of it, but free is always good. I admittedly don't stay on top of the latest animation software. I still highly recommend Digicel Flipbook, even though I'm pretty sure it hasn't been updated in 10 years. But I love love it as a pencil tester for traditional animation on paper, kind of traditional animation. It's so funny. Now you have to qualify traditional animation as being on paper, because now with something like TV Paint, you can do more or less traditional animation digitally, and that can be confusing. So these days I say more often than not just frame by frame animation to be specific to what I'm doing. Oh. Have I tried animating in Photoshop CS6? Well, probably. I don't remember exactly when I was using CS6. It's alright for quick little GIF animations where the timing isn't so integral, but for actually animating, if drawing in Photoshop is always going to be my favorite place to draw, but for animation, I just don't like any of Photoshop's timelines. If I use Photoshop for animation, I work out the timing probably in Flipbook. I end up doing the sequencing in After Effects. It's the timeline in Photoshop is just, it's never been good. And it's just very clunky. Now, I don't see why it has to be that way. Adobe has all those, if you could just combine Premiere with Photoshop, you'd have a Leviathan program that would just gobble up everybody, all the competition. But Adobe doesn't really seem to understand or care to understand the needs of animators. They're better than they used to be. They used to sort of deny that animators use their products at all. Now they have admitted that. But still, they don't listen to what animators want. Okay. Here we go. And again, it's hard for me to keep track of the chat situation because my focus is down here on my thingy. So if you want to grab my attention, use the taggy thing. So my name is highlighted and I can go straight to that and I don't have to scroll through the thingamajoob. All my technical terms here. Thingamadoob. Somebody said, let me scroll up. Oh, piece of trash. Oh, I hate these people with negative names. I don't like saying mean things, even if it's your name. Person of treasure. You know who you are. Please answer my question. How did you come up with the characters in Monkey Rag, and what is the tree guy's name? His name is Spanko, and his name is derived as an homage to the name of the band, Asylum Street Spankers. I was going to call him Spanky, but there's an actual band member named Spanky, and I didn't want it to be him. So I chose Spanko as another half homage to Yakko and Wacko from Animaniacs, and also maybe a little bit of Groucho, Harpo, Zeppo, Gummo, and Chico. I can't believe I said Zeppo. He is the last Marx brother you mention. Besides Gummo. I also mentioned Gummo. He was never even in a movie. Okay, let's see how this is working. I keep wanting to throw away keys, but then I'm a little precious about it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this works! This works in the animation, I should keep it! I'm sorry about that voice, I apologize. I imagine, you know how your voice sounds different in your head than it does to other people? That voice, that sort of Pee Wee Herman voice, is how I imagine my voice sounds to everybody else. So, oh, I see my name highlighted. Awesome. Molina Twins says, did I thumbnail my animation, or do I prefer pose to pose? Well, pose to pose would probably be derived from thumbnail, so I think you mean straight ahead. If like pre-planning and planning versus just throwing caution to the wind. And I explained earlier, well, I apologized earlier that I am not doing that here because I'm in a rush for time. I don't have much free time, and psychologically, if I start pre-planning something, I've found that I don't ever get around to putting it down on paper these days. So the best way for me to actually get something done, maybe not to as high quality as I otherwise could achieve if I had planned properly, I just have to throw down on drawing it and just doing it and working it out as I go. And I don't recommend that. That is not the right way to do things, in my opinion. But I'm not teaching a class. You guys aren't my students. So maybe I should make you all sign a waiver before watching me do this, saying like we promise not to take her work as a advice on how we should do our work, because I don't advise doing it this way. It's messy and frustrating, and I just have a real need to feel like I'm accomplishing something, and planning things does not make me feel like I'm getting things done. So even though this is messy and not thought out, it does feel like I'm getting something done. I'll have to erase that sandwich. Okay. Do I have any tips for character designs? Oh, thank you, Colleen. That's very, very sweet. Tips for character designs. Take Steven Silver's character design course. I'm, as one of my mantras is, I gotta work on that. So character design is something I've got to work on. But what I strive to do in my character designs is have interest and appeal. And appeal is hard to nail down, but interest you can achieve through contrasting curves and straights, interesting shapes, asymmetry. There's lots of techniques to create interest in your designs. And this drawing bothers me. I'm going to fix that right now. Oh, thank you. SSB Ivory says, I hope you're having a good morning. I hope you are having a good morning as well. Oh, hi, Lamont. I didn't see you. So I have this drawing right here that is not expressing what needs to be expressed. It's not doing its job, so I'm going to try and make it do its job by changing it up a little bit. Oh my, okay. I've got a few more tags here. Is this how you tag? Yep, it's working for me. Do I like bands like the Arctic Monkeys? What kind of music is the Arctic Monkeys? I guess it's like prog rock? Yeah, I like prog rock. It's not my area of expertise, but from what I've heard of the Arctic Monkeys, they get my toes a tapping. I haven't heard of the Blue Vans, though. Lurk away, Lamont. Have I used Toon Boom in the past? I have. I didn't have the greatest experience with Toon Boom, but most people really love it. And tons of studios use it. Yeah, it's probably worth investing the time in learning the software. But again, it's I have actually heard people say they use Toon Boom for frame-by-frame animation, and it was wonderful. Like they use it in bitmap mode instead of vector mode. I don't know. I don't think that was an option when I did it. It was a few years ago. But if that works, sure. Sounds good. But what I did use Toon Boom to color Monkey Rag. I did the animation and the inks on paper and then scanned everything in and dropped the color in digitally. And Toon Boom made that very difficult, but my husband figured it out. And he posted a 40-minute tutorial on how he made that work because it was not easy. But there was a nice thing. The palettes in Toon Boom are really nice, the digital palettes, because you can change, you can link colors in the palettes and just change a character automatically with one click of a button to say like daytime colors to nighttime colors. And that was good. But had I known or had TV Paint existed at the time, I would have definitely used TV Paint. I would have inked digitally. It saved a lot of time. This is terrible. This is the worst thing ever. What a derpy face. What's my opinion on non-famous or hard-to-use animation apps such as Flip-a-Clip? I have no idea. I've never heard of it. And what do I think of other animators besides myself? Awesome. I'm not sure. You mean like famous directors? Like which directors I like? Which Is this any better? I'm making a mess. I'm making a big messy mess. It just turned off the sandwich. The sandwich was too loud. Oh boy. Aw, Larry. Oh. Larry Loria was our, I guess, yeah, everyone had Larry for a while at SCAD. He passed away just a couple years ago. He was a really, really, really sweet man, very supportive, and great guy. And I feel bad because the year before he died, he was in Atlanta visiting, and we just couldn't nail down a time to get together and visit. So I ended up not being able to see him. That's one of my biggest regrets. Yeah, in recent years, lots of people have just unexpectedly passed away. So take care of the people you love. Don't assume that they're going to be around forever. That's really depressing. Sorry. Do I have words of encouragement for beginning animators? Sometimes when I talk about animation to students, I find myself sounding discouraging because it is a very difficult industry. However, I chose to do it. Thousands, maybe, I don't know, millions of other people choose to do it. And it's because if you do this kind of work, it's because you can't do anything else. It's in your blood. And you've got to find ways to keep yourself excited about this kind of work. And yeah, if you can find that within you, you're going to be fine. It's just a little bit of crazy inside you that you need in order to do this, be in this industry. But career is possible. Making stuff that gives you emotional satisfaction is possible. It can be done. But it is not for people who don't have a work ethic. It is not for people who want a straight up 9-to-5 job. Again, it's a little crazy. I've often thought if I'd be better off if I became an accountant or something and just animated as a hobby. So I could do my own work all the time instead of having to hustle and work on other people's jobs and never get to do my own ideas. But I'm not good at anything else. Well, I spent too much time drawing in my life and not studying Russian, I guess. I guess if I really wanted to, I could become a Russian linguist. I have some resources. But, see, my heart's just not in it. But back to being encouraging, I don't like this drawing. Nope. Not at all. Start over. I guess it's hard to talk and draw at the same time. See, I'm not even good at that. Yes, with regards to being encouraging, it is a great time to be an animator, work in animation. The industry is robust. It's not producing the kind of stuff I wanted to work on when I started this gambit, but nonetheless, there are jobs, there are things being created. So, it is more possible than ever. There are pathways to these jobs that are more easily followed than, say, 30 years ago, when there were, 60 years ago. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the 70s. I'm sort of stuck in the year 2000. I was just so impressed that we got to the 2000s that I stopped counting years after that. But anyway, years ago, there wasn't even animation taught in colleges. You just had to know people or write a really sweet letter to somebody at the Disney studios, and they would invite you over from Britain or France to be an in-betweener, and you would learn from the pros, from the masters. And it's not such a lottery anymore, although I wish that kind of thing still existed. All the major studios keep firing all of their gurus because, I don't know, I've heard that ageism is a rampant thing in the industry. Like, worse than sexism, worse than racism. Ageism is like you get to a certain age and you are no longer useful. And that upsets me. Because those guys are the MVPs. They've already learned so much, and not having them around and teaching the younger folk, you lose so much. So, again, I'm trying to be positive and always turn it to something. This is why I get nervous talking to students, because I always have to end my talks by saying, I don't mean to be discouraging, it just comes out that way. I blame it on being tired, and my brain doesn't have a filter when I'm tired. Okay, her legs just keep getting longer. I gotta keep them shorter. She's got little baby legs. And also, I haven't, the hotkeys in TV Paint, I always forget, unless I'm working in this program every day, I forget the hotkeys pretty consistently every time I open up the program. Well, that's definitely better. Goodbye, previous drawing. Oops. Important email. Download. Okay, sorry about that. Just finished up some boards, and they're giving me my next assignment. But our kickoff meeting is Monday, so I can keep animating. But I also have some illustrations I need to get through today. So it's going to be a busy day. And I was hoping to shoot a Joe opinion video. But man, I think that's what I mean. I always got a million little projects, and I'm not going to be happy until every single one of them is done. thank you for person of treasure. Thank you for joining us. And I was on the fence about uploading this, but yeah, why not? Sure. I'll upload this for everybody to see and go over my ramblings over and over and over. Maybe I said something at some point that was worth remembering. We'll see. Oh, how many things did I miss? Let's see. Yeah, there were a few questions. What tablet do I recommend for beginning digital artists? The cheapest Wacom? And who's my favorite animator? I don't know. I'm happy with my Cintiq, except as soon as I got it, I made a big in the glass, like right in the center of the screen, and it's going to cost so much to repair, so I'm just living with it. But other than that, I adore it. It's a 2022 HD touch, but I turned the touch off because I don't need it. But it's lovely. I love it. I don't know about the cheaper options. I know people who get sort of the Chinese knockoffs of Wacom, and they're happy with those as well. It's basically just know what your budget is and know what is required to give you a good experience, like sensitivity and responsiveness. Parallaxing is an important issue, and parallaxing is how to explain it? It's like how far away the cursor on the monitor is away from the tip of your stylus. And if there's a great distance in there, it kind of feels like you're painting with a wand instead of drawing on paper. So taking all those things into consideration, you might want to go see if there's any display models in your local electronic stores, go to trade shows, if you have the ability or the accessibility to do that. But there, again, just like with one's career, there is no wrong answer. Everyone's situation is unique, and you got to do what's best for you. And there are so many programs and so many devices right now that make animation easier. Well, not easier, but more accessible than it's ever been before in history. And it's just going to keep getting better. And I'm not on top of the technology game, so my recommendations are not like CNET or anything like that. All I can tell you is what I'm using. I'm very loath to upgrade. I like getting a situation set up and then not changing it ever. Like even when there's an OS update for my Mac, I'm like, I'll give it a year and see how that goes for other people. And sometimes I'm very glad that I do not upgrade at the drop of a hat. That's a good thing about paper. You never upgrade paper. Get a software patch for your paper. I'm talking like everybody's grandpa. That's me. I have the soul of a grandpa. How old is my baby now? A game art mom, juggling family work. It is an endless struggle. She is almost 2.5. She's 2 and 4 months thereabout, and she's a monster. And this particular one is about how she eats her peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. She takes them apart. I don't like this drawing. I'm gonna change it. I I'm going to make it better, stronger, faster. Margie, are you moving to the south, really? Tell me when. Oh my gosh. Where are you moving to? Tell me. Are you coming back to Atlanta? Well, Margie is one of my friends from college. So that's why every time I'm going, Margie, that I'm not just talking to my second personality, that's an actual person who is here. Columbus, Georgia. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm sorry if you made an announcement. I'm sorry if I missed it. I haven't been on Facebook a lot lately. But we will definitely have to get together and do play dates. I can't wait to see baby Margie. Mini you. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I do keep asking people with children a little older than ours, just like, does it ever get easier? And the answer is always like, yes, no, well, maybe. It's different. So it's hard to get everything done and get sleep and say goodbye to all your friends for 10 years. So that's my mission, to tell all the people without children in the world, when your friends have children, don't complain about how boring they are. Don't give them a hard time about it. Help them. For God's sakes, help them. Go over to their house. Move into their house. Help them with laundry, cooking, playing with the baby. And it's not just to help them. Children they're really wonderful. They give you, like, all those cliches about becoming a parent, they're all true. And it's just that it's such a unique, non-unique, it's incredibly ordinary raising children because billions of people do it. But it's also just extraordinary because once it happens to you, you have no idea what it feels like. So if you have friends with kids, be a part of their lives still. Don't say, see ya in 10 years. Just, it's worth it. Especially if you can play with the baby and have a good time, and then when it poops, say, oh, it looks like you want mama. But I think regardless of whether or not you have your own children someday, everyone should have a child in their life in some capacity. So be nice to your friends with babies. There's especially loving cartoons so much. You got to have a part of you that never did quite grow up. And you find that you have a lot in common with children. I have so much in common with toddlers. It's upsetting. I love shiny things. But sometimes life is all about just appreciating shiny things. It helps get you through the drudgery part of it. There. That's better. I like this better. Wow, look at the change in this design. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not working from a character model that I previously worked out. So you have just this huge discrepancy in proportions. And eventually I'm going to have to decide what I like better and go and fix everything and waste a lot of time. But that is the bed I made and I have to sleep in it. Let's see, how did this start out? Oh, yeah. So maybe it's just this one drawing. Let's see if I can just cheat this. I'm a cheater. I like to cheat because it saves time. Oh, so again, I didn't quite see, Nick. Is that change in design typical in my process? Nick. Oh, Nick. I don't have a process anymore. I don't have time for process. I'm just drawing like a mad person, just in the hopes that I can get something done. But what I do like in working like a rebel, like a mad rebel person, is that I think you really understand a design once you animate with it. So changing it while I animate is how I'm discovering what looks best, what's easiest to move. Sorry. It's kind of hard for me to talk and draw at the same time. Maybe I should just more narrate what is going on in my head, and that'll make things easier. Her body's too big. I'm cheating, and I'm going to close it. I mean, not close it, shrink it. Shrink it a bit. Finding the character. Yes, exploration. Those are all words that make it sound like I know what I'm doing. Copy to brush. And another thing, TV Paint doesn't have the copy and paste doesn't work like it does everywhere else in the universe. And that does take a little bit of getting used to. I forget, can I select across layers? It'd be cool if I could. I don't think I can, though. Oh, that's right. It has to fill in every single frame, and that can be a beast. You take a smaca pasa, cha 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 cha. One pantero, chi 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 chi. Take the cuica, choo 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 choo. You've got that fascinating rhythm of the samba. And if guitars are strumming, choo 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 choo. Choo 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 choo. Drums are drumming, choo 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 choo. Then you can blame it on the rhythm of the samba. Oh no, sorry. I told you it would happen. Is it copyright infringement if I'm singing? I'm not sure how the copyright bots work anymore. They confuse me. I should save. Oh, okay. When I watch Monkey Rag, do I self-critique, or am I still happy with Monkey Rag to this day? Well, Colleen, I had to stop at some point in order for it to be finished. I'm happy with it because it's done, but it is not the best I can do. I've never done anything that is the best I can do, which is why I have to keep doing things. But I cottoned it up to just being an artifact of my skill level at that moment in time. And I'm comfortable with that. Oh my God, it's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna be right back. I have to... I'll just be right back. That will be here to keep you company while... Actually, I can't hold her that high, so just... 1 minute. Back. Yes. Did anything wonderful happen while I was away? So again, I have live streamed before, but on Twitch, never on YouTube. And I'm just wondering what you guys think. Should I go back and forth between Twitch and YouTube? Is Twitch worth it? Is YouTube worth it? Have any of you guys joined me on Twitch before? How do you... What is your perspective from your end on the whole live streaming situation? A lot of animators practice facial expressions while looking in the mirror. Am I one of those kinds of animators? I guess so. It helps to just even feel the expression on your face, even if you can't see it. Watching this documentary, can't remember exactly on what, but it was about how making certain expressions, the muscle memory in your face actually triggers emotions. So when you have sympathetic expressions to people, as in you wear other people's expressions and you feel what they feel. So if somebody is sad, when you look concerned, you're sad too, and making that face makes you feel sad, helping you feel that they are also feeling sad. And I'm not explaining it well, but it was really neat. And they talked about how when somebody gets Botox or some kind of plastic surgery that inhibits the use of muscles, like facial muscles, to make expression, they can't read other people's expressions because they can't try on other people's expressions. And it sort of weirdly changes their personality. It's kind of creepy. Do I have a certain approach to drawing backgrounds? I do have a certain approach. Simple as possible because I hate backgrounds. I'm trying to get better at it because it's important. And I really admire excellent background artists. But it's a great weakness of mine. And like I said before, I'm working on it. But I far prefer characters. I think I just don't like the head here. So right now I'm basically consumed in trying to not getting this to work as much as just getting it to not be something that I hate. Excuse me. It's nothing worse than spending time on something and stepping back and looking at it and thinking, oh God, I hate this. What am I doing with my life? Why am I William Shatner? Do I have any advice of keeping drawings consistent throughout a piece? Oh, yes. Definitely working from a model, doing basic construction in your drawings before working on the details. Basically, don't do anything that I'm doing. So as I explained before, I am just stampeding through this. This is just personal fun piece. This is not how I would do something professionally. I actually have a little, hang on one second. I made a little animated GIF thing about consistency. Uh-oh. Okay. Here's a link to my advice on consistent drawing. I hope that helps. Story time, my career journey. Oh. Let me think. Leave us toying back the clock. No, I went, I went to SCAD, and I got an internship at Primal Screen during my junior summer. I've sort of been freelancing ever since. Just making connections as you go along, making sure that you prove that you're a good person to work with, reliable and consistent. Going to cons, conventions, meeting new people that way. Yeah, I haven't tabled at a lot of places. I've been to CTN twice, but it's such a huge expense. I'm going to try and get into MomoCon next year, but that fills up super fast. But it'd be very convenient for me because it's a couple blocks away. Yeah, I just keep my eyes open for opportunities. And if something unexpected falls in my lap, I just do it and see what happens. Scatty. I don't know. Guys, do you really have much alma mater pride? SCAD was so frustrating for me. I remember I was just always in combat with the dean trying to get some traditional courses. And I didn't have a single person advise me not to do performing arts as a minor because it's a freaking waste of time. And I could have really used that advice and taken some awesome illustration courses instead. But everyone was like, no, it's college, experiment, find yourself. Screw that. I need to do what is going to be useful for me. The only person who really told me like it was Phil Young. Only had him for 1 year. He was just kind of like, you know, this is reality. You don't want to accept it in school, that's fine, but it's going to be different out on the outside. But no skin off my teeth. I'm going to play my bagpipes. Direct quote. I miss him. Yeah, generally, when people ask what is the best art school to go to, I don't say SCAD. That's because I haven't been to a lot of art schools to form a valid opinion on which one is absolutely the best. But these days, there's such a wealth of information on the internet. It is not worth going into lifetime debt to become an animator by going to school. Like a brick and mortar school. If you can afford it, it's wonderful. If you get a scholarship, even better. But I think people are in a better position to start their lives if they pinch their pennies a little bit more in the beginning and not spend it all at SCAD, which is way more than 20 grand a year at this point, I'm sure. I bet it's like 40 grand a year. But I did hear they finally offer full scholarships for the artists and not just their athletes. That made me so mad. And normal artists can only get a certain, like I think 10,000 was their highest scholarship per year. A fraction of the annual tuition. If you're just an artist, but if you're one of their basketball players, you can get a full ride. And it all had to do with attracting athletes for accreditation. It's all very frustrating. I've never run a college, so I don't know what kind of pressures they're up against, but I don't think that needs to be my problem as a student. Yeah. Nate told me the story of when he was at SCAD. Nate actually went to SCAD a couple years before we did. And the basketball players had sort of this, the full ride thing going. And, like, everyone treated them like everyone, all the art students were so resentful of the athletes. Like they were getting, Nate and some of his buddies were getting on the elevator at O House, and one of the basketball players in big Letterman's jacket was like, "Hey, hold the elevator." And they said, "F you, you can walk." Very rude, but must have been emotionally satisfying. I would have held the elevator and just silently resented them. So that's how I do's it. It seems like all of my art heroes never went to college. Like Steven Silver never went to college. He had a very roundabout way of getting his career started. To art school. I think Andreas Deja never went to art college. He just got straight on hired on by Richard Williams. Let's see how this is going. What was that? Does having children, Teddy asks, does having children change my approach to making animation? Oh, yeah, because I don't have any time anymore. Most of my time is spent trying to get my normal work done. And even that, I end up staying up late at night trying to make that happen. So right now I'm in this, I have one day between turning in something and I will start my next episode on Monday. So I have a little time today to revisit this animation I've had for a while. And I've said before, like, I usually promote a structured approach to animation, but because I have no time, I have this burning need to accomplish, or at least feel like I'm accomplishing something, and planning doesn't give me that feeling, just animating does. So I'm just, since Tali was born, I just go straight ahead, and I don't finesse things as much as I'd like. My standards have lowered quite a bit, but it keeps me moving. I recently started saying that old adage about a shark swimming. A shark has to keep swimming or else it'll drown, and that's how I feel. Just, it's not a quality swim, but I am swimming, and as long as I'm moving forward, I'm going to be okay. Maybe I'm not doing what I'd like to be doing, ideally, but it sounds like such a great sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice, because, it's your children you're talking about. Uh-oh. Oh, excuse me, I have a phone call. It's probably spam. If it's important, they'll call back and leave a message. I always get spammed around this time every day. Darn it. Let's see how much this has devolved from the beginning. Hey, not that bad. Not that bad at all. Oh, there's so much. Let's see how this is going. Man, I'm getting hungry. It's 1:30. Stupid biology. Well, so I have this MomToon. I've got another MomToon that's on the back burner. I've got my next episode that I need to start for my job, and I'm working on a children's book where there's a deadline on Wednesday. I have a new Japinian video I want to get filming, but I need to write down the script. But that's all I need to get done today. I can do that all today, right? Yeah, sure. So let me just take a look at this one last time to make sure I don't hate it. Yay! Yum, yum, yum. And I accomplished my goal of not hating it. It's not done. I think I need a few more hours to get it to the point where it can live on its own. But I think I'm going to shut it down for now. But I think that this YouTube live stream was a real success. I got more people here engaged than on Twitch, so I'm definitely going to do this again. I'm still going to live stream on Twitch from time to time, but now I'm going to mix it up more. And, oh gosh, there's questions. What are the... I'll just scroll up. What are my thoughts on Atlanta's recent foothold in the animation industry? Do I think I'll be the next LA? Atlanta doesn't really have much of a foothold in the animation industry. We've got 2 major studios, but they have consistent seasonal layoffs. To me, it's not as robust as it could be. And if Georgia passes more tax credits to cover visual effects, post houses, then I can see that being applied. Well, I mean, animation falls under the film production. I don't know. I don't know why it hasn't taken a foothold here. Maybe because LA people don't want to spend time in the South. Who knows? But I hope it does, because we've got so many resources here. Like all of our talented freelance pool and recent grads, they come and work here, and then they get laid off, and then they go to Vancouver, and we are bereft of that talent in this area again. So I don't know what the future will hold. Oh, come here, kitten. Just in time to say goodbye, Gray King. Come here. Come on. There we go. See? It's a kitty. Hello, Internet. So, yeah, I'm not sure. So it was great seeing everybody digitally in text form. Margie, Nick, Lamont, great to catch up with you, and thanks for joining me, and hope everybody's doing well. Margie, I can't wait to see you and your baby. And yep, didn't hate it. And I'll see everybody in the ether. Yeah, that's not my catchphrase. Okay. Signing off. See you guys next time. And I know I've said that before, and I've said this before, that next time I will say when I'm going to live stream. But so far it's been really impossible to plan. So it'll be a surprise next time I see you. See you later.